Hey everybody, welcome to join us for video number 4 of animal communication and silent healing. It's been a while since I did the last clip, and we've been pretty busy here in Finland, circling around doing the usual summer tour, teaching and lecturing, having animal medium nights, and it's been lots of fun. And we've met so many awesome people again, new people, new friends, old friends, students, and so forth. And I thought that now I've been in a kind of silent mode for a few days. You can see the water behind me. I just came from a swim. It's really nice. It's been overwhelmingly hot here in Finland. It's really, the weather is really been good to us. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a little bit more about animal communication while you're learning to do it, and for yourself how to tune in. And when you're tuning in, what is that? What kind of things you can expect? What kind of things you can see, feel, and so on when you're doing it? And later on, the other clips, there's so many things I want to talk to you about. It's like more technical stuff, and you know what to expect and how does it actually work? How is it even possible to do that? But for now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what kind of things you can expect, what can happen when you tune in. So first of all, everything's to do with everything. Everything is communication when we are tuning in with an animal friend. It's very, very intuitive. I've talked to you about this before in the previous videos about imagination and intuition and all that, and telepathy. Telepathy actually means long distance feeling. Long distance and pathy, feeling, so that's actually long distance feeling more than reading minds. Animal communication is not mind reading. Nobody can read your mind if you don't allow. We can't read any animal's minds if they don't allow us. They're not going to tell us any secrets that they are not allowed to talk. They are not going to tell you anything they don't want to tell you. So we can't solve any issues or any problems or any kind of behavioral stuff if they don't allow us, if they don't want us to know what's actually wrong. So that being said, when you tune in, you can get all different kind of things. It's not only talk that you hear. This is something that people really easily misunderstand. They think that we're some kind of Dr. Dolittle, that when we with an animal, we actually hear everything that they say as like they be talking. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. So when you watch a movie, Eddie Murphy doing the Dr. Dolittle, he's constantly talking with them, and that's usually what we do with our animal companions, our pets. We talk with them all the time, and we hear them answer, but we don't believe what we hear. So therefore, that's the reason number one why people say it's so difficult to or challenging to communicate with your own animals. It's only because we don't trust our own heart, our own hearing, our own thoughts, what we hear. Since everything we hear as our own voice. It's the same thing when we think. We think with pictures. We think with our own language, the language that we talk, that we mostly talk, the language that we dream. And so that's one very important thing to understand. That since people ask me, does it matter what language does the animal speak or what language is spoken in their home? Doesn't matter. since when I'm communicating, let's say I have a client that the dog is in China and the people in the household speak Chinese. So I'm not, I don't understand Chinese language, I don't speak that. So I'm communicating with the client in English. And since my own language is Finnish, I interpret everything in Finnish. If the dog wants to show me a house, I see the house in my head as a picture, or if it's a word, if it's a spoken word, I see a word talo, which is a house in English. So it's everything is the intuition and telepathy and all that. It's an international language. I always say it's a language of the heart, since we can understand. It doesn't matter what kind of a language, and that's what we should be doing more. All of us, all the time. We should be listening with our hearts and intuitively tuning in with each other and hear what the other person or the animal actually wants to tell us with their emotions and body language and all that. The little ants climbing my legs, since here's like it's a nice little island that we're at right now, and a lot of water birds. There's a seagull with the babies, and we're watching. It's like a nature show. We're watching all the time. A lot of fishies, and it's really cool. So anyway, what else you can get? Like when I first started to learn animal communication, pretty early on, I realized that it's like a puzzle that I'm putting together. You can get images, visions, and these visions. You can hear sounds. You can smell things. You can feel emotions. You can feel physical stuff. All these different things. And further we go, we learn to put that puzzle together. We learn to interpret it the way that it makes sense to the person whose animal we're communicating with. So like first I started to do channeling. It was more written channeling. I was just writing from word to word what the animal wanted to tell. So it sounded like the animal is speaking on, like that's what it sounded like when the people were reading their communications that I sent them. But while I was doing that, I started to realize that, oh my God, there's so many more things that come along. That I started to realize that I see, I can sense a taste in my mouth. I can get visions. I could see the household they wanted to show me, their home. I'm like, I see a couch or the colors or some artwork or other people or other animals in the household, and I started to put those things within the messages, so they started to grow more and more and more. And also the physical sensations, I didn't realize at first that they're nothing to do with I was like, how am my teeth is hurting, did I just eat something strange, or my arm is hurting, what's going on? Later on I realized that's actually to do with an animal, and not everybody feel physical sensations. I do. I am very intuitive, very spot on with the physical sensations that I get from the animal. I've actually gotten more sensitive during the years, and I can really help with the physical issues. Like last video we talked about the ethics. It's important to know I can't never ever give any diagnosis or anything like that, since I am not veterinary, but I can help them to figure out where the pain is at, how strong the pain is, and so on and so forth. And also, like with hearing, you can, let's say that you're communicating with a cat and suddenly you hear a train. That would mean that to me that I would write that, okay, your pet is or you're living somewhere close to a train station or train tracks or something, there's something to do with the train, or I can smell, like with horses, sometimes you smell a grass, they might be showing you that they're outside grazing, and there are lots of different there was just a couple weeks ago with a client, I've smelled a very, very strong cologne, and that to me, I wasn't sure if that's somebody from their past that is coming through, because usually that's the sign of somebody, a person coming through from the past that is already passed on the other side. But this was actually the person that is still here on this side, and the client's animal just wanted me to acknowledge this person, and that's how they came through. And there's so many different things, so that all your senses come into play. So if you are not hearing the talk or the words, don't worry, you're getting so many so many different things that you can call communication. Communication is not only a spoken word, and that's why people get it wrong, or people get it, they misunderstand what is animal communication before they actually start asking questions and come to a workshop, or hear a lecture or somebody explaining that it's so much more than just a spoken word. And this is exactly what happens if I meet the client, the animal, in person. Exactly the same thing happens, only that I won't be writing the message down. I will be just speaking. And of course, when the animal is present, it's different. It's not different, but there might be different things coming out, and a different way. Since if I go to animals' home, I'll see their home. I see what's there. I see the colors. I can tell if the person is stressed out, if they're artistic, maybe even what they do for work, and these kind of things. So that is something that obviously is left out, and I'll probably talk an hour or so what an animal wants to say. An interesting thing is the animals may not even want to be present. They might want to go to another room to concentrate. And this was really hard for me in the beginning. I was like, how can I go to this cat's home, since the cat maybe doesn't want to even come close to me when I'm doing the communication. And usually what happens, the animal goes away when they see me, when I enter, and when I start doing the communication, they come into the room and very close, and it's very calm. They usually calm down. Very hyper animals calm down, and they show their person really, really clearly that the communication is actually taking a place. And there's been so many hilarious things. I once communicated with this mule that we were present with it in a pasture, and he said, "Oh my God, you guys don't understand. I'm so much smarter than all the horses and all that." And there's one detail that happens. I blindfold myself. I put I can tell you. I can even show you that at some point how I do this. I can have a client, and we can film it so you'll see. I put the blindfold on, since I don't want to see the person. I don't want to get influenced how they react, how they see. Do they nod? Do they cry? Do they laugh? Or these kind of things. I ask the person, the client, to be quiet. So I just talk, and we go through the communication afterwards. So anyway, I'm blindfolded. I have Ingela with me, since she's always there with me as a silent partner watching when I do the communication. When I'm doing it in English, she helps me with the language if I don't find the words. And she's, for the safety's sake, I don't want to go alone into situations and blindfold myself. So anyway, she's there, she sees this whole thing, and everybody's quiet, but as the mule tells me how much smarter he is than the horses and all that, he starts running around, and there's little cavalet jump things. They jump, you can jump over with the horse. He starts doing that by himself, running around and jumping and showing all different tricks and how smart he is, and that was really funny. One time I went to a home, they had cats. The cat was really shy. They went hiding when he heard us coming in the yard, so I didn't even see the cat. We start the communication. I'm blindfolded, everybody's sitting and they're recording what I'm talking about, and of course the cat comes out. I didn't even know. They just see that it sits in front of its people. There was a husband and wife couple, and starts looking and talking, and the cat is nodding and telling them, I want to do this and I want to go outside and I'm a hunter, and you know, all these different things. And the funny thing is that the cat actually told how he pushed the other cat into their pool, and it was funny. But the cat actually came and sat in front of them, not in front of me, but in front of them, and looking at them. You understand what this person is talking about, okay? And they were really, it was, afterwards we were laughing. It was really funny. But these kind of things happen. But it's I don't write. I just talk. And the same thing happens when I'm in front of an audience. We do the animal medium nights. We do them all over the world. If you ever see us around or you're in a neighborhood, just, you know, join the party and come and see what we do. We draw a name from the hat from the audience. Everybody that wants to have a reading, doesn't matter if it's 100 people, then we just give them a number, and we have the other number, the matching number, with us in a bowl or something. We draw, and then the person can come and sit next to me and show me a picture of an animal. I blindfold myself and I give the message. It doesn't matter if the animal's already passed or still here present. I talk usually those live things, couple hours. They are a couple hours, 2.5 hours. I usually do between 6 and 10 readings, and they are like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what kind of a message it is. And I don't know. I never know what happens when we go into those things. But you might have seen pictures on my Facebook site about those events, and they're really fun. They're really fun. They're really nerve-wracking to me because I never know what's gonna happen. But in the end, it's really, really fun. So this is a little bit of what to expect when you do that, and next time I'm gonna talk probably a little bit more about energies and how the whole thing is possible. I've done this now for 18 years almost, and I had to learn that, you know, a little bit more, I would say maybe use the words technical wise, how does this actually happen? How is it possible? And how is it popsicle, like little 4-year-old says. So since I'm teaching it, I had to take the long route. I had to do this so many years so I'd be able to teach the subject, and I do it. And when I do it, I want to give as much information as possible for everybody to learn. There's a little bee wasp going almost in my nose. So anyway, I'm really happy that I get to do these clips for you. I'm really happy that our group is growing, and I'm really appreciative that you all so patient that you wait for these clips. And still, you're free to invite your friends to watch these. You can share the videos as much as you want. You can share the site and all that, and we love you and we thank you. And Ingela also says hi, and I think I'm gonna go back to swim. Bye everybody, talk to you soon.